Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. So today I want to talk about my twin flame journey. So around 2018, through the tarot, I was told I had a twin flame and that I'm supposed to do this great thing here in the world and help change the atmosphere of how people feel about each other and bring more love into the world. And so they said that my twin flame was someone who I've known for 1 to 3 years, and that he was very attractive, and I could only think of one person, and that was David, but he's 26 years younger than me. So throughout the time period that I was there on the island, we had conversations kind of here and there. And, we had all these different times of meeting. I wouldn't say all. I mean, we kind of passed through a lot, passed each other's path a lot. And, the tarot was telling me he knew my spirit before I knew his, and that he had an automatic attraction to me. So one day he approached me, and we were in a group, our workers, and who was my husband at the time, and we were talking about our age difference. And I asked him how old he was, and he told me, and I told him, I said, yeah, I'm like old enough to be your mother. And he's like, age is just a number. And I didn't quite know where it was going, what direction it was going, because he knew I was married. And I really didn't think twice about it. I just really wasn't believing. And then the tarot told me, you dreamt about him when you were a little girl. And so I thought about it, and I remember being about 7 or 8, and I was at the Catholic Church, and they had a picture of Jesus. And I walked up to him, and I was looking at the picture, and I was like, oh, he's everything. You know, maybe when I grow up, I'll find someone just like him. So David does have a beard. He does keep his hair a little bit long. He's very clean on the exterior, that is. And very polite, very charismatic, like the gift of gab. So there was a time where his car broke down, and he was riding his bike from Waikiki into his work. And I told him, I said, don't get me wrong, you know, but you can't really do that. I said, you can, but you really can't. I said, don't get me wrong, you know, by the time you ride into work, you're prepping, you're making your deliveries, then you gotta ride back home, and by the end of the week, you'll be exhausted. And then dealing with the customers, how is that going to affect your communication with the customers? So he was able to get back on his feet. Anyways, so we had these meetings that were just out of the blue. So the first one was I had to get my tires changed, and my husband stayed home with the dog. And granted, I didn't really have those feelings for him, and I didn't know that he immediately fell in love with me. But so I'm blindsided by the whole thing. But so getting on with the story, I go in and I give the keys, and I tell him what tires I want, and I have to go sit out and wait. So when I came out, in the big crowd of everybody sitting at their tables, there he was. So I plopped down on the opposite side of the table and said, "Hey." So we started talking about whatever, the day or whatnot. And, they say when someone really cares about you, when they walk away, they turn around and look back at you. And, well, he had to go. He was finished with his lunch. And he turned around and he said, "Hey, thanks for having lunch with me, sitting down with me." And I was just like, "Yeah, that's cool. See you around." And then the other time was under a tree where I live. And the area where I live, I had to park the car, and there's a truck parked in front of me on the other side of the entrance to that apartment complex. And so when I walked out, there's David. And so he told his worker to go upstairs and get started. He would be right up. And then he reached out his hand like a prince. And I put my hand in his, and he pulled me closer to him. And he was leaning up against this fence under this tree. And so he's talking to me, and I really don't know what to say. So I know he was smiling at me because my eyes were looking this way and that way, and I just didn't understand what all this was. And then I told him, he said he had to go to work, and I said, "Yeah, I got to go home." So energetically, he could see me without being near me. So he could feel me, like my emotions. So he could feel when I was fighting with my husband. He could feel, energetically. I told him, I said, "Okay, I'm gonna break it off so we can work on each other." And well, then I decided I'm gonna try to stay and work it out. So we had all these disconnects and just reconnecting, because he always felt like my best friend. And, I didn't want to lose that friendship with him. But like I said, we kept kind of like emotionally detaching and then energetically connecting. And I made his day and he made my day. So, I gave out a lot of my plywood marker paintings to a lot of people there. So everywhere he went, he saw a piece of me. Intentionally, I didn't do it for that reason, but after the fact, I realized that no matter where he goes, he's going to see me. And so there was pictures in receiving, there were pictures probably in the break room, there were pictures on people's desks, so forth and so on. So he was afraid after my divorce was final, and he had all these people telling him why he shouldn't. The reason why they were telling him that was because on the energy level, they could see us as a power couple, even though we couldn't see us as a power couple. The people who were against it were afraid that if we came together, then they would have to really look at themselves, because they'd be saying, "Why can't I have a relationship like that that's so solid? Why can't I have someone who loves me so much as I love them?" It'll trigger them to have to look into themselves to figure out why they're stuck. And So they did whatever they could to keep us separated. I was a liar, I was a cheater, I was a whore. I did dirty deeds for items that I received, and none of it was true. And so he chose to move on with someone else who promised him certain things. You can go be with whoever you want, just come home to me. You know, we can have threesomes. We can do whatever you want. You know, sex galore, you know, whatever you want. Just come home to me. And happened to be his boss in a way. She wasn't actually formally his boss, but she ran the drivers. And that's on the contractor side. So, you know, she made a lot of promises. And to get into the group, he had to vow that he would never speak to me. And if he did, it would be harsh. And it would be cruel. And he would have to break my heart. So he chose a woman who hated me because of the light that I shine. I was always going in and greeting everybody, good morning, and if I had something for someone, I would bring it in and freely give, never ask for anything in return. I always was like a vibe riser, you know. So, and energetically, I could see when I'm walking down the aisle that certain people who were close to my energetic or appreciated my energetic, you know, you understand what I'm saying? They would stop. It was like they could feel me coming up, and they would stop doing their work and then glance over to the right, and there I was, you know. And well, I really love that store. But moving forward, yeah, he chose her, so he had to have some real cruel words with me. And I gave him what he wanted. He said, I never want to talk to you again. You've caused a lot of problems for her. The problems I caused was she had been saying all these things about me. And I let the store manager know. And I wanted him to fix it. So she never got in trouble for it because other people covered her. Other people lied for her and said none of that was ever true. In any event, it's not that I gave up on David. I already knew, God told me it's time for you to go. And saying goodbye to some of them, I never even got to say bye to David because he didn't want me to speak to him. But Steve, he's a really cool guy. I was like trembling, saying goodbye. And I was trembling because I really wanted to say to David that I still loved him and I'll let him go live his life. And after a couple of weeks of me being gone, he started asking people, have you seen her? Where is she at? I haven't seen her. And then he realized that he broke his own heart, so he started drinking and he started carrying on with all these sexual things that his girlfriend engaged with him upon. The drinking, the drugs, the alcohol, the women, maybe some men too, I don't know. But energetically, I just told him, I said, I gotta let you live your life. I gotta, you have to live life a little bit more. You have to do things that you want to do, that you think is right for you. And I gotta let you go for now. And so I woke up from a sleep. It was like a year ago. I woke up and I heard marriage. So I texted him right away. I was like, David, are you really going to marry her? Is that really what you want? And the tarot had told me that he was going to take second best because I wasn't there. And he was afraid. He was afraid of how people would look at him being with me. And don't get me wrong, I'm attractive, but I'm 26 years older. He had, probably family members saying, how are you going to have children? How are you going to survive when she's doing this spiritual thing? What is it? Is she going to be taking from you? Is she going to be sucking you dry? So, in the past year, the woman that he chose over me is now sucking him dry. And not only financially, but emotionally, because she's very abusive. He's a man, so men will go and sleep with a whole bunch of women if their so-called wife or girlfriend allows it. But he's not a man to raise his hand on a woman. So she studied him, and she keeps pushing him. So, he's stressed out, walking on eggshells, doesn't want to communicate with anybody when he gets home. He doesn't have any peace. So he drinks his pain away. He drinks his sorrow away. And so, I can only send him so many words of encouragement. I can only say so many times, I'm here for you. And it's not that I'm giving up on him. It's that those are lessons that he has to learn. And the thing is they were attacking me for all this time, even before I left the island. And I really think it broke his heart, knowing that he had to hurt someone that he was told was not innocent, but deep down inside he knew that I was innocent of all those things that she said about me. And maybe he joined in just to try to fit in the crowd. And that hurt him too. Now, he's run out of money. Possibly, maybe he's learned to tuck some money away and not give to her so much. He's learned that, she might look good in a way. People thought she was a beauty, and I thought she was okay. And I'm the first one to tell you if I think someone's beautiful. Just go on my Facebook page when I disclose that to you. But I'm not a jealous person. I'm not a hateful person. When people are doing good in their life, I congratulate them. And I don't go behind their back and say bad things. So it's the energy you carry, the energy. I want to go to heaven. I know that I'm not perfect. I know I'm working on myself every day. And I know that God is with me. I know my family lineage holds high places in heaven. Whether you believe it or not, I'm telling you what I know, what I believe as the truth. If anyone had been able to know my grandparents, then you would know. And the twin flame is, you got the twin flame, and then you got the sun ray, and then you got something else. The strongest one is the twin flame. And I profess to God that I'll go the longest route, the hardest route, to get the best result. And that's the twin flame. Now energetically, he can hear what I'm saying. Energetically, he can feel how I feel. And our bond is unbreakable, undeniable, unstoppable. The thing is he stands good alone without me, with his energy. Now he's learning to pull away from those people that tricked him into believing that love doesn't exist. A twin flame bond can never be broken. It just can't. But individually we stand strong. So soon we will come together. And how they explained it to me was a twin flame by themselves, say in an apartment complex, a high rise. A twin flame, just one twin flame standing alone, can energize the whole bottom floor, say. But when two of them come together, they can power up the whole 48-story high-rise, because it's the power of two, with God standing above us, which is Trinity. And David and I's path is to show love, to help people raise their vibes, to help people come together and don't let anyone stop you from love. Love is the most powerful force in the world. And believe me, the haters will come out. The jealous will come out. They will try to deceive us both. But in the end, no matter what he's done in the past, no matter what I've done in the past, when we come together, we're taking it from that day forward with God's grace, with God's love, with God's guidance and protection. And we will travel around the world, and we will talk to people. We will help people along the way. I envision going to Africa and helping the people build a life for themselves. Help them to get off the dirt roads, the houses without plumbing, without electricity, whatever their needs are. There's many homes without food. Maybe going to Maui and helping them rebuild. Speaking to the people about love and the bond that love carries. And he will be my third husband. The other two, the first one was justice of the peace. The second one was with a pastor. This one is with God. And God will bless us with children. I don't know how, but God works miracles. So I want to just prophesy that to you today, that the tarot is not bad. If you listen to any tarot reader, if they mention about the devil, realize we are all capable of having either the devil or God overreign us. Get it? Like, if I give myself to God, God is going to carry me. Where is he going to carry me to? If I give myself to the devil, where is he going to carry me to? It's kind of an easy choice. But you have to recognize it. And if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I never cheated on my husband. And at the end, he was trying to suck the life out of me. And he always kept the living room dark. And my bedroom was always lit up. And we got home from work one day, and I stood frozen on the floor, standing up, my fist tight, for about 10 seconds, and I saw something on the left shoulder, and poof, it went away, and in my brain, it was like a man's voice. It said, go in the kitchen and get the 2 biggest knives and cut them up, you'll feel so much better. And I was still standing there froze, and I look over at him, and he's watching TV, drinking his beer. He never asked, hey, Marcia, why are you standing there froze like that? I looked back at the light in the kitchen, and I was really thinking about getting the knives and cutting them up. Then on my left shoulder, poof, it was a lady's voice, like maybe my mom's, saying, go for a walk. I walked 60 miles that week. And over time, God divinely guided me away from him. And I promised his mom I'd always look after him, and God honored that. Even though he was not deserving for how badly he treated me, God honored that and found a way for him to go to Vegas where his sister can look over him. But I'm telling you, the twin flame journey is hard. You have to be strong. Even though some days a lot of our miscommunication energetically was for the moment. You know, maybe I thought for a moment, he's never coming. And not thinking that he's listening to everything I say. And then he'd go the other way because, you know, he wasn't believing in me because I wasn't believing in him. But I will prophesy today that God is with us and he will bring us back together and we will do his work and God will send us around the world to speak to people. This I promised. I promise that this is the truth that I know. And there's no hoping that it comes true because it will come true. With hope, faith, love, trust, honor. If I give all those things to God, he's going to give it back. It's a love that's undeniable. It's unmatched. It's untouchable. David is protected heavily. I am protected heavily. And in God's good timing, we will make it back to each other. And we will never separate after that. There's many people out there who have this beautiful love that's just never ending. The truest love that never ends. I'm blessed to have God in my life. And I'm blessing you to have God in your life. I'm blessing you to hold yourself sacred and ask God, who's my partner? And if you feel like you're with the wrong one, God, help me out of this. The choices that you make in your lifetime dictate what kind of legacy you'll leave behind. So all this group manipulated my twin flame. They made him believe, his best friend told him that he slept with me. And it wasn't true. It wasn't true. They called me a whore. They called me skank. They called me worthless. They called me a loser. Well, guess what? I don't have to take revenge. Because God will see to it that they receive the justice they deserve. The worst thing is, when people act like that, it goes down the pipe, goes down the generations. What will her poor daughter have to endure because of her choices? So you see how you treat people every day, whether you know them or not. Homeless people, elderly people, infants or children. David and I are here to expose all that. When we stand together, we are going to be so strong that people are going to think twice about throwing shade our way. And they're going to think twice because it's going to be recorded that those people that came against both of us to keep us separated, God only knows what he's going to do to them. It's not by my might, it's by God's might. And I respect my God to let him do what he feels is right in this situation. And it's kind of a heavy heart because I hate to see anybody hurt. But the only way they'll learn their lesson is if they feel the way they made me feel, the way they made David feel. It's only right. And I pray that through it that they will awaken and have a real chance at life. And I leave it at that. Thank you so much for listening to this session about the twin flame journey. Possibly many of you are experiencing that right now. Don't let anyone stop you from love. If they're stopping you from love, It's just not right. God is love, and love is God. So if you try to stop someone from love, you're trying to stop someone from God. And I don't think God likes that very much. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day. Let the Heavenly Father rain down upon you justice, abundance, good health, in every aspect of your life. All the goods. Ask God for it. And when you believe that you already have it, it will come. God bless you all. Thank you. See you on the next time.